主日信息提及外交關係委員會 Council on Foreign Relations， 簡稱 CFR， 原係一個由大約150名學者於第一次世界大戰期間組成，為當時美國總統威爾遜出謀獻策嘅智囊組織。其後慢慢發展成一個與各國外交官一起討論第一次世界大戰後和平會議嘅組織。該組織成立於1918年嘅紐約市，當時第一屆主席係曾於第一次世界大戰中擔任戰爭部長嘅 Elliot Root。參加者除咗學者同外交官，更包括資深政治家、大商家、銀行家、CIA 及傳媒高層等等。現時已發展成一個擁有4900名成員嘅非牟利智囊組織，致力推動全球一體化 （globalization）。由於成員為全球政經界名人，單單董事會成員已包括退休財長魯賓、前美國將軍 John Addison、前四星上將鮑威爾、前國務卿奧爾布賴特、開拓重工前 CEO 及 James Owens 等等。因此 CFR 於美國政經界亦相當有影響力，甚至被人認為佢哋嘅目的係為咗得着全世界。
The year is 1917, and Representative Oscar Callaway enters a disturbing statement into the U.S. congressional record. The statement reveals why J.P. Morgan interests hired 12 high-ranking news managers. The 12 were asked to determine the most influential newspapers in America. They were to figure out how many news organizations it would take to control generally the policy of the daily press of the United States. The 12 found it was only necessary to purchase the control of 25 of the greatest papers. An agreement was reached. The policy of the papers was bought, and an editor was placed at each paper to ensure that all published information was in keeping with the new policy. Soon, that policy would be defined by a front group formed by J.P. Morgan and his colleagues. In fact, Morgan's personal attorney was founding president of the organization, the Council on Foreign Relations. Today, the CFR maintains that its goal is to increase America's understanding of the world. However, the actual objective of this highly exclusive club is revealed by the rare admissions of the insiders themselves. In the early 60s, a Georgetown University professor collects information for a book favorable to the network of powerful men who founded the CFR. For 2 years, Professor Carroll Quigley is allowed to examine the confidential papers and secret records of this network. Quigley reveals that these men aim to create a world system of financial control in private hands, able to dominate the political system of each country and the economy of the world as a whole. In short, they seek total and quiet control of the entire world. And the CFR is their most visible conduit for carrying out that agenda. CFR members include America's wealthiest tycoons, as well as the highly placed elite in government, academic institutions, tax-exempt foundations, and the establishment media. Ruling Class Journalists, written by Richard Harwood, describes the CFR membership as the ruling establishment in the United States. The Washington Post article boasted that news reporters who are CFR members do not merely analyze and interpret foreign policy for the United States, they help make it. Who are these policymakers? Many of their faces are familiar. NBC's Tom Brokaw, CBS's Dan Rather, ABC's Barbara Walters, Jim Lehrer of PBS, William F. Buckley of National Review, media mogul Rupert Murdoch, owner of the giant multifaceted News Corporation. These media heavyweights, and many others like them, are members of the CFR.